serving.
So here we go then. This first round match, Nishikori of Japan and the evergreen Leighton Hewitt. Whole host of injury problems have plagued Hewitt in recent years. The latest of which is a toe injury, which has really caused him grief for the last 4 months. And his ranking of 130 is his lowest for 13 years. Up against him is Kei Nishikori from Japan, whose ranking's going in the other direction, 21 years of age, ranked 52 now, and it's been down as low as 410 because he's had a real problem with an elbow, which kept him out for most of 2009, came back last year, and has moved his ranking up gradually. Started the year in the 90s, and now he's up to 52, and he did well last week at Eastbourne. Got to the semi-final, beaten by Janko Tipsarevic. Lost in the first round of Queens to Sam Querrey, but he showed enough last week to show that he can play on this stuff. But Mark, it's a strange place, court 12, to see Leighton Hewitt.
It certainly is. I was just thinking, of course, Leighton Hewitt was in many ways the first player who could play well from the back of the court to win Wimbledon, because there was the history of the serve volleys, the Samprases, the Edbergs, the Beckers, and then there was all of the controversy about grass being too fast and it was being slowed down. It was Leighton Hewitt who was the great hustler from the back of the court, who really has transformed the perception of Wimbledon in many ways. Yes. In terms of being a surface now, grass is a surface that players who play from the back of the court actually can be successful. And in fact, he's now gone the other way, and the serve volleyer is someone we seldom see, and it really is attributed to Leighton Hewitt in many ways to change the thinking about the surface. But he is a very exciting player, I think. You know, he's all energy, hustle and bustle, and his career has been a terrific career.
And of course, a decade ago, he was the man. He was the #1 in the world by some way. Held that ranking for over a year. And he's done all he can since then, but injuries have really hurt him. Hip injury, he's had a couple of surgeries, ankle, now the toe. It's been a real struggle for him, but in true Hewitt fashion, he's kept on plugging away, and you know, you hope it's not going to end sadly, his career.
Yes, I suppose to a degree, if you play well the modern way the modern game is played, which is so physical, injuries are an inevitable part of the game. Almost every player has had some injury or other, but particularly if you're someone who's a workhorse, really. And I don't mean that in a demeaning sense. I mean, he is a phenomenal competitor, and he tries for every point, and he has done for so long. There must be a limit to what his body can take.
Tony Roach in the blue cap just sitting down there, who was one of his early coaches, and he's now reunited with him. So he couldn't get much more experience than that.
Yes, a wise old head. Of course, he's dignified himself by playing here many, many years at Wimbledon, particularly a great doubles player, but a fine singles player too. I always remember his backhand volley. He had a lovely backhand volley, Tony Roach.
And Nishikori, who was the newcomer of the year 3 years ago. And a lot of people talking him as a possible top 20 player, and that could still happen, perhaps even a top 10 player. We'll wait and see. Has he got a big enough game? That's what I think you have to analyze as you watch him. But he moves beautifully, and he's got some fearsome ground strokes. And I was in Eastbourne last week. There was a documentary crew following him around every move he made. And he's big news back in Japan. They hope for big things. He's got a career high of 46, and they've got a project of making him number 45, because if that's the case, he'll be the highest ever ranked Japanese ahead of Shuzo Matsuoka. Roach's move seats, there are a few seats around there to be taken, but I can tell you, when we came, the queues were enormous to see this match. Such is the drawing power of Leighton Hewitt, and a lot of Japanese as well here. That shows you. And tell you, outside they're still queuing to get into any available seat they can. He's a very identifiable character, isn't he, Leighton Hewitt?
Yes, yes, he is, and also because of the way he has that cap in the reverse way. But you're right. What you see is he's like a soldier wound up. He's like a clockwork soldier, all hustle and bustle and rapid movements. I would think to play against, he must be quite intimidating, because he is all over the court. He's trying for every point. He never gives you a chance to breathe. But he's not a player who's overwhelmingly powerful. I think he wins his points by an astute mental attitude, hard work, good placement of his shots rather than overpowering shots. And so in the context of this match, as you refer to Nishikori, who's also a player who is not necessarily overpowering, we're likely to see a lot of really excellent rallies.
Ali Nili from Iran, the man in charge here. Yes, and as long as Hewitt is fit, we're not sure, to be honest. I don't think he's sure. He went into Eastbourne giving it a test and it didn't work, and obviously he didn't want to hinder himself anymore because of Wimbledon. But how fit is he? Well, it'll take him a few games to work out, and Nishikori will examine the injury because he is very fleet of foot. Nishikori yet to win a match at Wimbledon. He's been in here a couple of times, lost in the first round in 2008 to Marc Jiquel, and last year, well, he got rather unlucky. He drew Rafa Nadal in the opening round. And Hewitt here for the 13th time. One of 3 former Wimbledon champions in the draw. The others, of course, Federer and Nadal.
Yes, he emerged on the scene, the world tennis scene, very early, didn't he, at the age of 16, and he's sustained that for so long. And a great Davis Cup player too. He supported his country in Davis Cup. So we've got a highly supportive crowd here, I can imagine.
Ready for play. First set, Kei Nishikori to serve.
Well, they are. They're called the Fanatics, and you'll see and hear a lot of them in the next hour or two.
Play.
Nishikori then to begin.
Law 15.
Go!
15 all.
Typical Hewitt. Inviting serve, but he got right on top of it.
15-30.
Yes, he takes the ball so early at the top of the bounce there and really drills it across court. A very solid, firm hit.
So straight away,
15-40.
2 break points for Hewitt.
And the conditions are quite blustery out here on court 12. Really have to watch the ball. I think that mistake really was because of the wind just caught the ball.
Net for service.
Nishikori. I think nerves have hindered Nishikori in the past, and saw an element of that in
30-40.
Eastbourne. He's bound to be a bit nervous here. Wind really gusting at the moment. Second break point. It didn't take long for the first come on then, did it?
First game.
So early joy for that lot. But it was a rather tentative service game from Nishikori.
It certainly was, and I think it's certainly not helped by the conditions at the moment. The wind has really come up, and it was tricky on the serve. And Nishikori started rather badly because he started with a double fault, which didn't help his confidence. Backed up with some terrific,
Hewitt to serve.
some terrific backcourt play by Leighton Hewitt. Leighton Hewitt's also got the difficulty now with the serve, the ball toss going up into the air, blowing away from him as he goes to play the serve. It can be a bit tricky, this.
Hewitt did well, but phenomenal reactions from Nishikori to guide that home.
Law 15.
Well, a brilliant point this. A good idea by Hewitt to come into the net. It was a good approach shot. He does well to pick that up, but how quick Nishikori is there, not only with movement to the net, but reflexes at the net too.
Oh, yes. Vintage Hewitt counter-punching. Second best in the point. And turns it around.
15 all.
Well, his movement is really being tested at the moment, Hewitt, and he seems to be doing quite well. The strapping on his ankles there. It is awkward here because the wind suddenly catches the ball on the ball toss, and it's then much further forward than the player anticipates, and then the timing is destroyed. Seldom do you see this happen, but it's the tricky conditions that's causing this.
Oh! 30 all.
I think the wind caught that too. Unfortunate time for Nishikori.
This is the point that Hewitt really would love to win.
Oh, it's close.
40-30.
It's right down below where we're looking at, and seeing very little in it. But Hewitt was very quick to point that it was long, and Nishikori's accepted that.
It was a bold shot. He went for it.
Maybe just long.
Yeah, Hewitt.
So Hewitt endorses the break.
Hewitt leads 2-0 first set.
wind at the moment. It's so sporadic. It's gusting right now, and in a few seconds' time it stops, so it's very difficult to gauge. But Nishikori will be used to it. A week in Eastbourne conditions you to this kind of weather.
Love. Love. Net for service.
Super play from Hewitt, hitting through the wind emphatically there.
And such accuracy.
30-15.
Set up with the return. Look at that one, just inside the baseline, and then this cross-court forehand, pinpoint accuracy.
Out. 30 on.
His record here has been pretty good as well. He's reached the round of 16 at least for the last 7 years. So he's ever consistent.
(40-30).
It was a lovely rally. He played his part in it, but disappointing end for Nishikori.
Well, it was a clever shot by
Deuce.
Hewitt there to give Nishikori no pace down the middle of the court in windy conditions.
Advantage Nishikori. Yeah, Nishikori.
Better serving from Nishikori. But damage already done. Hewitt leads
Hewitt
two
leads
games to
1. First set.
Yes, the key element, I think, in that last game was the quality of Nishikori's serve. It certainly was upgraded a bit or two. It was last serve up to 122 miles an hour. Slightly against the wind. I think it's easier probably to play from the end that Nishikori has just played from, because it's hitting more into the wind than with it. In some ways, it's much easier to play against the wind. Ball is held into play more easily.
There's the ball.
Good crowd out here on this court. It's a popular court, good intimate atmosphere, and I'm sure as this match progresses, the partial groups are going to get more and more animated and involved. The good news is, though, that Hewitt seems to be moving okay.
Yes.
Despite the wide serves, which Nishikori has been serving to the deuce court, which I think he's been trying to force him out wide.
Time.
Hewitt has been able to move quite delicately and deftly to his right without too much of a problem.
looks up for this, does Leighton, as if he fancies that
15 love.
the feet might hold.
Well constructed point here behind the approach shot, rolling into the space, and delighted with that.
Nishikori is blessed with a whole range of shots. That was
15 all.
what was so impressive with him at Eastbourne, is that sometimes you just have a feeling he's almost got too many shots. But he gauged the wind really well to beat Stepanek, which was a significant win.
30-15.
Didn't totally rein in the shot making, but got the balance just about right. For a young man of 21, it was a very impressive performance.
$40-15. Game Hewitt.
Hewitt looking very sharp indeed. An impressive start from the Aussie.
Hewitt leads 3-1 first set. $15 love.
This is better from Nishikori.
Yes, you sense he's getting into his stride a little bit
30
there.
love.
3 very cleanly hit backhands. With lots of pace and just a little bit of topspin for control.
Slid into the net unnoticed, and lovely touch when he got there.
30-15.
Yes, again, good tactical play by Leighton Hewitt. Positions himself well for the approach and surges forward and just delicately plays the little drop volley. Good shot to play early in the tournament. Ball wasn't bounced quite so high.
$30 all.
Well, that could be
30-40.
a crucial little intervention there, because another break here would surely settle the set.
Yes, well, they say fortune Follows the brave, a bit fortunate there.
Yeah, just a bit of extra pace from Nishikori. Great point saved.
Deuce.
Yes, it was quite brave play there by Nishikori because he went for his shots. I mean, it was a point, last point. If he'd lost that last point, virtually the set was over.
Yeah, the wind very blustery there.
Advantage Hewitt.
And you can sense and appreciate Nishikori's frustration here. Second chance for the Aussie for a second break. Hewitt in full voice, and at the moment he has the whip hand over Nishikori. 4 games to 1.
Hewitt leads 4 games to 1. First set.
Of course, 10 years ago, when Hewitt was in his pomp, he intimidated a lot of players. And I just sense here that he's trying to intimidate Nishikori, who can be intimidated. I don't know him well, but just watching him last week, I get the feeling he can. And I haven't heard Hewitt as vocal as he is right now, early on in a match, for a long time.
Well, he's certainly pumped up, and he's playing. Not quite sure here what's happening. Nishikori has actually spoken to the umpire, whether he's asking for the trainer or something like that. No real sign of lack of movement or injury, but certainly coming back to Hewitt, he's been really pumped. What has impressed me is he's made so few unforced errors, and he's a player who hits the ball fairly flat relative to Nishikori. And so you would and he's hit the ball very close to the lines in these conditions. I mean, it just shows how well he's sighting the ball. There's a slightly worried look there by Tony Roach. I'm not quite sure what the apprehension is from his point of view. But I suspect he's very pleased with the way this match has started. 2 service breaks that Lleyton Hewitt has managed to secure. A very healthy position in this first set.
Nishikori, I'm afraid, is making too many basic errors to contend with Hewitt in this kind of form. He's got that strapping on the knee. He's had that for some weeks. Whether it's getting worse, I'm not sure. Oh, how about that? That's the volume of a man who won the title here.
30 left.
Well, Tony Roach would really appreciate the instincts and the naturalness of the volley there by Lleyton Hewitt. No wonder he gave his pumped fist in the direction of his coach. Brilliant.
Oh! 40 left.
Nishikori is wandering around the court as if he's not sure what's happening here. I don't know if there's an injury. I think he has called for the trainer. We'll see what evolves here.
Game Hewitt.
Meanwhile, Hewitt is taking him apart.
Hewitt leads 5 games to 1. First set.
Well, I think we both thought this was going to be a match of significant rallies and lengthy sets, but he's serving to stay in the set after 22 minutes.
Impressive performance by Hewitt.
Law 15.
But having seen him last week, this is pretty disappointing from Nishikori.
Yes, he certainly
Law 30.
seems to have lost his way completely. That was a very wild forehand, almost without any real care at all. That's a good shot.
Law 40.
Just missed, only by a slither. So here, 3 set points for the Australian. Oh, that's a glorious shot.
15-40. Net for service.
Yes, Hewitt's favourite shot, the lob.
Hewitt.
A mighty impressive first
New ball,
set
please.
from Leighton Hewitt. And he takes it 6 games to 1 in 25 minutes.
They've got plenty to cheer about, the supporting cast.
Can't see anybody coming on to tend to Nishikori, but he looks a rather sorry figure.
Yes, he played that last game in a rather tame fashion, didn't he? Without too much conviction. Perhaps at 5-1 down, he reconciled the thought that, well, he's not going to win the set. He might as well save his energies to the beginning of the second set. He started the set, really, for him, in the most unfortunate fashion with a double fault and lost his opening service game. So really the pattern was set right from the word go.
But look at that from Hewitt. Just 1 unforced error in the set. That was vintage Hewitt.
And 10 winners or 2. You're absolutely right. It was a very impressive performance. And on serve, served well. 89% of the first serve points won. Really a very solid performance all round. I suppose he's played here so many times and won so many matches, almost feels it at home. This is, and quite clearly is okay on grass. Now it seems as though they are waiting. A racket has gone. I think maybe that's for restringing for
Time.
Nishikori.
Well, we hope for a little bit more fight from Nishikori in set number 2, as he was drifting rather alarmingly at the end of the first set.
Well, he needs to muster his energies here
Second set, Hewitt to serve.
to try to break the Hewitt serve. That would change the momentum of this match for him.
Law 15. Fifteen all. Correction. Replay.
Yeah, initially called out, but overall from the chair by Ali Nili.
15 all.
Yes, it looked in. Maybe the line judge was unsighted by Hewitt's right foot. It's a very disappointing shot from Nishikori. I don't know what's wrong with him, but something is, because this is not the man I saw last week.
I'm not sure whether it is his left knee, which he seems to be flexing a little bit abnormally.
Foul! Oh!
30 all.
He put up well then after the slip. Which may well have hurt, but recovered well.
Ball.
It's rather a free point there for Leighton Hewitt. Nishikori was not under any pressure on that backhand at all.
Deuce.
Lovely angle from Hewitt.
Well, a crowd-pleasing rally this.
Advantage Hewitt.
Hewitt really moves in so quickly, stretches out there, his arm like a telescope, really, to find the angle. There, look at that superb angle drop volley.
Hewitt taking control of the point.
First game, second sets.
He's full of fizz and buzz, is Leighton Hewitt. But Nishikori, in contrast, is looking a little sorry for himself.
Well, an excellent game to finish by Leighton Hewitt. He produced some inspired tennis in the last 2 points. It's finished with this drive volley, which had his opponent going the wrong way. Some inspired play. But he was looking a little bit dodgy at one stage there in that last game. Hewitt made a couple of mistakes, he did, which we haven't seen too many of throughout the match. Nishikori having a glimmer of an opportunity for a break.
Off.
That's how good a player he can be.
30 love.
Well, he forced Leighton Hewitt to cover an awful lot of territory from side to side with his short angle ground strokes.
Forty love. Yeah, Nishikori.
So it's just what Nishikori needed. Comfortable service game, a love service game.
1 game all, second sets.
Precious few like that.
Go.
15 love. $30 love.
A lot of 3 points from Hewitt on serve. Still winning 87% of the points when the first serve goes in.
$40 love. $40-15.
It's just not solid enough, Nishikori, to live with Leighton in this kind of mood.
Hewitt leads
The
2 games to
Australian
1, second set,
goes
and
ahead.
1 set to love.
It's been a wonderful day. Day 2, they forecast a little bit of rain, but it hasn't arrived, and we haven't had a figure yet on the crowds, but they are absolutely immense. Every gangway is filled, and the pressure on this particular court, you can see, heaving.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Throughout the entire grounds here, it's just heads of people massed together, watching all of the courts. It's a glorious sight, it is. Even there we can see people peeking over the edge of the back netting just for a little view of the tennis. And indeed, the tennis is really spectacular from Leighton Hewitt.
Time.
Serving well. He didn't miss a first serve in that last service game. So I don't know that I associate him particularly with good serving. Well, he's a good server, but not someone of really impressive serving.
The returning's his thing, isn't it? He's such a good returner.
$15 love. 30 love.
Yes, the wind again very strong, but Hewitt will be disappointed not to make that pass. That's the problem for Nishikori. He'll play a decent rally, then a really poor shot. He's just not gauging the wind. It's very difficult, but nowhere near as well as he was last week. But maybe extra tension, that doesn't help. And the opponent is playing mighty well. It would have been the shot of the match.
40, 50.
I thought he was going to pull it up.
Wow.
Yeah, Nishikori.
And that's one of Nishikori's best shots. Really planted that left foot.
2 games all, second sets.
Very strong, yes. Moves over there, just whips his racket through the ball there. Just a flick of the wrists. Both hands working together. Very fast, short, sharp action. Well, they're playing a little bit better now. Nishikori.
Law 15.
Another serve with pinpoint accuracy right down the middle on the line.
Thirty, 15.
Second double for Hewitt.
There's another case there where the wind just catching the ball on the ball toss just prior to impact. Very difficult.
No, sneak of a chance here for Nishikori. Seems to be error-free now. Well played. Now then, can he get back into the match? This is his first chance.
30, 40.
First break point for Nishikori. Penetrating serve.
Deuce.
Little bits of magic from the Japanese.
He really has
Advantage Nishikori.
really loosened up now. He's going for his shots. He's really lost that cross court. Break point number 2.
Got it.
Yeah, Nishikori.
Suddenly, this is the guy everyone's excited about, Nishikori.
Nishikori leads 3 games to 2 second sets. First set Hewitt.
Backhands and then forehands. Wonderful shots on the back there.
Well, they're playing without compromise. He really went for his shots and certainly had a different look about him at the beginning of this second set. He's actually come to terms with playing the match. He got his concentration much better. He's playing with greater deliberation. But I can see what you mean. He's extremely dangerous because once he does cotton on to those ground strokes, they're almost unplayable. And it wasn't as though Leighton Hewitt played a bad game at all. It was Nishikori raised his game quite a notch. A very dangerous competitor.
Runner-up at Houston this year. Lost to Ryan Sweeting, semi-finalist in Delray Beach and a semi-finalist last week at Eastbourne. So it's starting to come together. It was a strange end to that first set, though. It's a bit of a worry. We both thought that there might be an injury, but obviously he just switched off. So Nishikori then, a break up in the second set.
Love 15.
It's getting noisy. His supporters know that it's at times like this that Hewitt's at his most dangerous. But Nishikori is looking at a very different kettle of fish now.
15 all.
Yes, he's looking really dangerous from the back of the court. Anything short, this one is. It's not quite deep enough. He punishes.
This is the mixture
30,
that
15.
we saw in the wind at Eastbourne last week. Mixing up these staggeringly good shots with some compromise that we saw then. And now Hewitt just getting a little
40,
frustrated
15.
because at the moment he's being dictated to.
40-30.
Well, he's shown us just about everything, Nishikori. All his brilliance, and then a couple of shots there that belong to the first set. And he knows Hewitt's not going away.
Advantage Nishikori.
He's just lost his edge a little bit now. Hewitt making a few mistakes, and that's giving Nishikori a little encouragement. Doesn't count as a serve because he didn't actually throw the racket at the ball.
Yeah, Nishikori.
Nishikori in the ascendancy, rather like this fella was in the first set.
Nishikori leads 4 games to 2 second sets.
Well, this becomes a really important game for Hewitt, who's going to stay in the second set.
Oh. 15 off.
We're hoping he's going to see plenty more of shots like that, but
30
they've
off.
been few and far between lately.
Love. Game Hewitt.
So a comfortable service game for Hewitt.
Nishikori leads 4 games to 3 second set. First set Hewitt.
They're all optimistic because they've seen Leighton in the past come back from deficits. He's a great counter-puncher. But it has been quite a remarkable transformation in this match, mostly due to this guy.
Sure.
And the ground strokes have been very impressive for the last, what, 15-20 minutes.
Yes, it's a typical modern style forehand with a very fast motion with a big change of grip. And I was really just thinking, in windy conditions, actually that favours Lleyton Hewitt a little bit more than the Japanese player because of that speed of racket head through the ball. That means timing has got to be a lot more precise, whereas if you hit through the ball on a much more horizontal path, the chances are you're going to be likely to make better contact and to make less mistakes.
Time.
bunch. I wouldn't want to defy them myself. Because it might have its impact upon Nishikori too.
The wind playing tricks again.
Fifteen love. Fifteen on.
A bit of wrong footing there from Nishikori.
30-15.
Any vantage point to see this match? Super depth.
40-15. Net for service. Yay, Nishikori.
Yeah, he's serving better, and that's another key ingredient. And he's a game away from leveling up here.
Nishikori leads 5 games to 3 second sets.
And that's something that looked impossible half an hour ago.
Yes, that's the beauty of this game of tennis. It can change so quickly.
So Hewitt, who won the first set 6-1, serving to stay in the second set.
Love 15. Fifteen all. Net for serve. Thirty 15.
errors in this game from the
14,
Japanese.
15.
So it looks like he may have to serve out for the second set.
Game Hewitt.
Indeed so.
New balls, please.
Third ace for Hewitt, and it's 5-4.
Nishikori leads 5 games to 4, second set. First set, Hewitt.
Well, Hewitt there doing just what he had to do, and that was hold on to his serve, and he held on to it in a significant way with that final ace. Now the pressure is just that little bit greater on Nishikori. All he knows is he's got to hold his serve to win the set, but he does know that the conditions are very tricky on the serve, which doesn't do a lot for his confidence. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. I don't know whether you've found this time when you're playing and you've got a big, and it's very windy. You put the ball up where you normally put it and you find it's moved over your head. You've then got to compromise with your swing. Your body's in the wrong position. And you sort of then hope and pray you're going to get the ball in, let alone hit it in with interest.
And you know up the other end is one of the greatest returners there's been in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know he's going to run down and go for everything.
So it's far from a formality, and we did see him buckle rather badly at the end of the first set.
Well, a few sort of plaintive sounds come on K there.
Yes. Didn't sound quite the same, but here we go. Serving with new balls for the second set. Ooh, we had a chance there, Hewitt.
15 love.
He certainly did have a chance. And with the benefit of hindsight, wished he'd probably played a different shot, a lob, or shot down the line.
Love.
So 3 set points for Kei Nishikori.
Nishikori now, message will be get your first serve in, even if you have to take the pace off.
How dare he be brave here. Too brave.
Yes. So 3 set points are gone. This is very similar to the end of the first set. The guy who serves so well in this second set, better and better. Suddenly he's serving for the set,
And he's collapsing. And Hewitt's got break point. Hewitt keeping him honest, and Nishikori wasn't up to the task, I'm afraid. And I'm afraid as games go, serving for the set, that was dire from Nishikori. He really did suffer. 2 double faults, too many errors. Hewitt's reputation helped him out there rather than his play. And that can have a horrible effect on you, Mark.
Certainly. I mean, he has collapsed at the moment, Nishikori. It's extraordinary what's happened. This is, I think, a function of inexperience, really.
He's struggling to win points now.
I used to play a lot with the Aussies in the olden days, and they always used to say, if you serve a double fault, make sure you get your first serve in, even if you have to just roll it in. Hewitt is the sort of bloke who's like a dog with a bone. You know?
Yeah. It's a horror show, I'm afraid, for Nishikori now. He can't trust himself at all.
And Hewitt's doing just the right thing, just keeping the ball in good length. Oh, that was...
It was out.
Yes, it was out. But didn't hear the call.
But you wouldn't argue with Hewitt's body language as he takes the ball and moves to 6-5 to the good.
Well, disappointing, isn't it, for Nishikori? He collapsed somewhat in the first set in a similar sort of way. His body language was obvious to see, his shoulders slumping, and it must be a very nightmare for him to be 40 love on serve. It's the sort of thing you dream about.
Yeah.
And then for it to disappear. So going to be interesting to see how he responds to this. He's not out of the set yet. He can hold his serve, and that's how he's got to think about, right, I've got to hold my serve now into the tie break and take 1 point at a time. And all that noise in the background can't be helping him.
You're Australia's #1. He's ranked 130 in the world.
Time.
Nishikori is down their end, and he's got to gather himself here. It will be a formidable performance if he can somehow claw this set out after where he's been in the last, what, 10-15 minutes.
15 love.
Just not timing the ball at all now.
15 all.
Half an hour ago, there were winners after winners for Nishikori. What would he give for them now?
Thirty, 15.
Huge bit of luck. A surprising error from Hewitt.
He was living dangerously there, Nishikori. He had a couple of balls on the far baseline at Leighton Hewitt's end, which were very close indeed.
Yep. Well, he made sure the first serves were in then. And that's a little feather in his cap.
16 all, second set.
But it'll count for nothing unless he can win this breaker. But it is a tie break to decide the second set.
Yes, cruises.
1-0, Hewitt.
Quite happen for him. Hewitt off to a kick start.
Hewitt.
Punchy serve, 121 miles an hour, and he follows it in impressively. Equals his fastest serve so far.
4-1, Hewitt.
Now the big difference here is Hewitt has put in good first serves, enabling him to control the point. A good lead here. Get one of these 2 points on Nishikori's serve. But Leighton Hewitt's going to be home and dry in this set. Bit of an impetuous forehand.
It's not coincidence, is it, Mark, that at the end of sets, at the business end of the set, Nishikori has been way less than himself.
Absolutely. His head is down, as you can see. He's moving into the net. Perhaps he is intimidated by Leighton Hewitt. He knows his reputation. He knows he's going to have to win every point. He's going to have to work hard. Though the set was on a plate for him at 40 love on his own serve. He created his own demise. It wasn't in that situation that Leighton Hewitt, his tennis, beat him. It was his reputation, perhaps, that beat him. Serve.
Yes, right on the line. Hewitt giving the line judge an old-fashioned look, but it's right down the line we're looking down, and it definitely got the chalk. He's near boiling point, is Nishikori.
6-2, Hewitt.
So here are 4 set points for a 2-set lead for Leighton Hewitt.
Oh, he's missed it.
6-3, Hewitt.
Extraordinary. Well, he thought the serve was out. I must say, I thought the serve was out. No Hawkeye available here. So it was a rather tentative gesture from him. It did look long, didn't it?
It certainly did. And he almost turned his back there, and I think that obviously distracted Hewitt. I mean, he influenced his shot, but they've got to take the situation. So 1 set point has been saved.
Still not enough first serves. Well done. Hewitt coming in really on a wing and a prayer, but he still needed passing, and Nishikori had the calmness to do that.
Well, Nishikori's relaxed a little bit. In his mind, I think he's already has lost the set, and he's now got another lifeline. Still set point.
Not solid enough. And Hewitt as pugnacious as ever, and he's taken the second set on the tiebreak. He leads 2 sets to love.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you leave your seat, please make sure you take all your belongings with you. Please do not leave property unattended at any time. Thank you.
And that's tough to take if you're Kei Nishikori, because as you said, Mark, he had it on a plate there.
Absolutely. I mean, you seldom, what you work for is 3 set points on your own serve, 40 love, and just eluding. That's a tough situation. And it's interesting, as you remarked, I mean, at the end of the first set, he went down, he slumped, and maybe this is something that he's got to work with his coaches to maintain a much more positive demeanour on the court. Even if he's feeling a little dejected, you've got to keep your, as Leighton Hewitt all the time, his head is up, he's moving around, he's showing a positive attitude. And unforced errors there. Nishikori 15, rather a lot for him, just at critical times. I mean, was the issue. He played a lot of great points, in fact, a lot of winners, 9 winners, more winners than Leighton Hewitt. Leighton Hewitt played the patient set. He kept putting the ball in, allowing his opponent there either to make the great winner or the loser.
It wasn't as good a set from Hewitt as the first, but in the end it didn't need to be.
But it was all about attitude, really, at the end of the day. And Hewitt, invariably, if that's the question, he's going to win the day.
Time. Third set, Nishikori.
He has come back, Kei Nishikori, once from 2 sets to love down. That was in the French Open at Roland Garros last year against Santiago Giraldo of Colombia. But with all credit to Mr. Giraldo, he's not Leighton Hewitt. I think it was wide. Well put away. It was a miss-hit. Often they are difficult to read. Not for Hewitt then.
15.
That kind of rally, meat and drink to Leighton Hewitt.
Yes, lots of side slice on the ball, on his backhand, the ball keeping low. Difficult to someone who likes to hit with topspin like Nishikori. Has to come from underneath the ball. Tough point to play. Yes. Quick to see there that
14-30.
Hewitt's way behind the baseline. Look how far behind the baseline he is, a couple of meters behind there.
Some players, after taking a 2-set lead, especially after a difficult second set, might have a bit of a letdown, but not Hewitt. He's not that type of guy.
Similar sort of shot that he played earlier on in this game. A bit short, a lot of slice. The ball's moving out wide. It's from inside out, and a tough one for Nishikori to get down the line and control. He needed to go cross court, really.
It's a break point for Hewitt. Yes, he loathes that. Couldn't have been more inviting.
Well, this is another chance here for Hewitt to really keep his opponent underneath his thumb.
Nishikori thought the previous one might have been out. I don't think so. And Hewitt strikes again. Another tough blow for Nishikori to withstand. Nishikori complaining about the line call. But it's more out of frustration. Oh, he's given his racket a healthy whack, so I think he'll get a code violation for that. Depends if he picks it up again. It was a touch and go call, but I do believe he was in the wrong. So Hewitt now on the road for home, 2 sets up, a breakup. And I fear that Nishikori might filter away here.
Yes, he certainly has lost his concentration. Well and truly, he's so angry with himself. Yes, he needs to take plenty of time, a few deep breaths, his mind back on the job in hand.
It's a clever serve. Just 95 miles an hour, but right in the corner of the box. And it may be just a mopping up process from here on in. This next game is absolutely crucial for Nishikori. If he loses this, he might as well kiss goodbye to the tournament.
Let's go, Nathan. Let's go. Let's go, Nathan. Let's go. Let's go, Nathan. Let's go.
struggled a little bit, Nishikori, on the forehand. A lot of missed hits.
Yes, there's more good news for Leighton here. Not just the way he's playing, but the way he's moving. He doesn't seem to be impeded by the foot injury that he came into the tournament with.
A little bit lost now. Nishikori as to how to play this match.
That was good. A lot of question marks over Nishikori there. But he had some resilience. Surprising amount after the previous game.
Yes, he relaxed just a little bit there, and he hit a couple of really good forehands. A little bit like we saw in the early part of the second set. He's lost the tension, and I'd be pleased to think that he secured that game. That might revitalise his spirit.
But I think we've seen quite a bit of Nishikori here, haven't we, to form in a judgment. He's got talent, there's no doubt about that, but he just needs to be made of slightly sterner stuff, because there's no doubt when it got to the crucial part of each set so far, he's wilted, and he hasn't let Hewitt's reputation inhibit him.
Yeah, the phrase in tennis terms is choking, really, and which most players have done from time to time. But there are certain things that you do when you are in a winning position. So to serve two double faults on set points is really, that's highly inexperienced. That is, and that's a word that also that I think comes into the equation here. He's a young player, 21 years of age, hasn't played a lot of matches really because he's had a lot of injuries, and so he can certainly learn a lot from this match, if he will open his mind to do so.
It looked like it might have been out, but I think Nishikori blindsided the line judge. Difficult one for Ali Nili to have a look at this. I think this was out. Yeah, and he didn't have the energy to complain, Nishikori. That's the depressing part. That looked good. Got right on top of it.
30-50.
He's one of the better backhands we've seen from him in recent times, and that might give him a little bit of a lift.
Good return.
30 on.
Now, can he get something going here? It's probably his last chance to get into the match. Unlike Hewitt, shot, and here's a break point.
30-40.
It's 1 out of 2 on break points so far. I think it got the line. I don't think it was out, but you can understand how he's mortified. That was no luck at all. I do think that might have got the back of the line. Well, if it got any of the line, it was the back of it, and it may not have got it, and you have to feel for him. Nothing's going his way. And there's another line. Well, that is brutally called. Fourth ace for Hewitt. Well, Hewitt's dragging him back in. It's his third double.
Yes, it's a strange game, very tentative from both parties. Good shot.
Trusting in his big shots, and he has had another chance here, and he wanted a bit more luck than he got on the first break point. And that's just what we wanted to see from Nishikori. Some fighting spirit, some terrific play. And he's back in the match.
2 games all, third set.
Yeah, certainly lifted his game, and it was a pretty torrid game for him in terms of his perception of calls. And perhaps Leighton Hewitt took his foot off the pedal a little bit there. Just let him in.
It's interesting, isn't it? The wind's dropped now, and Nishikori is starting to play a few shots. It may be only a few minutes, but the wind is noticeably quieter now than it has been.
Yes, that certainly helped him. He's regained excellent touch.
And with the wind abating now, we are getting the full range of shot making. Not sure how long it'll last. Yeah, well done. Hewitt trying to wrong foot him, but Nishikori up to that.
Playing superb tennis now.
40-50.
Nishikori, I mean, that really was a lovely backhand, sweetly hit. He holds a series of shots right in the middle of the racket, well placed. Playing calmly, too.
Nishikori, for the second time in this match, has transformed himself. And he does look a player who could be a top 20 guy.
He's played 3 impressive games now, on all 3, and added all sorts of variety to his play as well. Moving to the ball with good timing, good balance, and starting to serve a little bit better too. Gets back behind the ball there, on his toes, gets his weight forward onto that backhand, racket back early, again stepping into the ball. Well grooved shot, this backhand, hit with quite a lot of confidence and very solid. And the forehand, much more of a whipped shot, more topspin on the forehand, but moving well, and good focus of his eyes, watching the ball. A little bit of variation there with the slice, the one-hander. Really having to focus really well.
Yes, I thought he was starting to feel a little sorry for himself, and I was nearly counting him out, but he's got back.
I agree. I mean, all of his body language was rather petulant, really, and his hangdog look about him. But it's a funny game, tennis. You've only got to hit a couple of good shots, and all of a sudden your view of the match changes. It's sort of like a body chemistry. You suddenly become alert, start to think that you can win again, and I think he thinks he can win now.
So Hewitt with new balls, trailing now in this third set. Another reckless return.
13 all.
There's no doubt that Hewitt's level has dropped.
13 left.
This is not good from Hewitt. You can see he's starting to get a little agitated with himself. The match should really have been in the bag. He's dropped his level. Nishikori now looks a contender again. Break point for a second successive break.
Yes, versus.
Developed by 2 against 1 success and by 2 success.
Good finish. He rather strangely followed Nishikori into that backhand corner.
Really had to dig quite deep there. I'm wondering actually if he's struggling a little bit with his foot.
Have you noticed something in his movement?
I just don't feel he's moving quite as well as he was moving early on in the match, and that's contributing to the mistakes, some of the mistakes he's making. Even pushing up on the serve there.
After a very mediocre game, Hewitt coming up with the goods there. Magnificent approach, super volley, 3-all.
And terrific retrieving there by Nishikori. And great volley to finish. Really sharp. An important game. In danger of being 4-2 down, Leighton Hewitt. 4 successive games going against him. But it's 3-all.
I think it was a tough call. Looked like it might have got the line.
Come on, mate, come on. Bring it a step. Come on. Get in there.
5 doubles now for the Japanese. Yes, it's at the moment Hewitt making errors like that. Not the Japanese.
News.
14-15.
Nishikori playing with so much more confidence now.
Yes, he's starting to dominate like he did midway through the second set.
A pretty comfortable service game. It does have a look of the second set about it.
Leads 4 games to 3 third sets.
So he's 4-3. As he broke in the 5th game of the second set, really did look very likely to take it at that stage. He was comfortably outplaying Hewitt. But as you saw, Hewitt got the break back at 5-all, nicked the tiebreaker. And now, although Nishikori is not a break in front, it's with serve. You feel that he's got the advantage.
Yeah, you certainly do. But if we reflect on the second set, I don't know that Hewitt won the 5-4 game. It really was handed to him, wasn't it? With a couple of double faults and missed shots. And that's the issue here. Is he going to be able to maintain this level of play? If he is able to maintain this level of play, I mean, this match is winnable as far as Nishikori is concerned. But of course, on the other hand, there's the fire in the belly of Hewitt. At the moment, he's going through a rather tempered stage in this match. He hasn't quite fired. He's frustrated, but he's not sort of alert like he was in the very beginning of the match. And if his cohorts at the side of the court start to get a little more animated, which is quite likely they will, that might just raise his spirits a touch to change this around.
So 1 break each in this 3rd set.
Law 15.
Oh, yes. Another flamboyant, exciting shot from Nishikori.
Law 30.
He seems to play this effortlessly, really. Well placed.
And first sets.
If at first you don't succeed.
15-30.
Just at the moment, the serve is holding him afloat.
getting better. He's at last 2 challenges win.
Just a fraction slow out there. And again, you are under about the foot. So Nishikori just could take this third set. You never know.
That was a fine serve.
Not this Hewitt.
Well, it was there for him, and he's made so many in the last 20 minutes or so, but not that one. And Hewitt
4 games all, third set.
does level up 4 games each.
Well, he did well to recover in that last rally because look, he slipped there, but came back very agilely there to get back into the rally. And Nishikori really missed an opportunity to take advantage of that.
Well done. Completely wrong-footed, the Aussie then.
Series of really good shots on the Japanese player, and heavily whipped forehand. Lots of disguise with it too.
Out.
Please, thank you.
Takes the ball so early, Nishikori.
Getting off.
That is a simply glorious game. There is still wind around, and sometimes it's quite fierce, but it has noticeably dropped from the level it was an hour ago, and just sense that Nishikori is really coming into his own right now. But there's that question mark: can he finish it?
There is. He couldn't have played a better game than that, could he? I mean, a series of wonderful ground strokes. He played so calmly and so confidently. It looked as though he could do it all day long. I mean, that last game, illustration of how well he can play. But of course, the enigma is his own mind, whether he can sustain that. He, of course, can't help putting out of his own mind the fact that he was a 5-4 serving 40 love. It's sort of the thing you dream of, being in that situation, particularly against a player like Hewitt, and not being able to cement that lead.
Fine.
Certainly made the running, though, in this third set. From 2-love down, he was. It looked at that stage that Hewitt was going to be in the locker room in a very short period of time.
So Hewitt, from a break-up in this set, now serving to stay in it.
That was an excellent second serve, a lot of kick.
30 love.
Slowed that down and allowed the ball to kick out wide. Had a multitude of choices here. Decides to go back behind his opponent there. Good play by Hewitt.
He had a big shot on that, and he knows Hewitt that he should have made it. Didn't break his stride, did he?
How dangerous he is. Look at this on the run. Just flick of the wrist, really perfect timing. Hit severely down the line. Player of extremes, isn't he? Magnificent shots, and then all of a sudden an error, unaccountable.
It looked like it might be wide, but Nishikori has taken this very cleanly on the chin. Hewitt levels up. It's 5 games each. I say the luck levels up, but I think try telling that to Nishikori right now. I don't think he'd believe you. It's a bit sloppy. The wind starting to gust again. Great effort from Hewitt, but he was always second best in that rally.
Yes, his mistake was here. He should have done more with that and allowed the lob, which came off the frame instantly, the backhand smash from Hewitt.
Rio.
Remember, there was one unforced error from Hewitt in the first set. There are now 21. So no alarms there for Nishikori.
Nishikori leads 6-5. Third set, he leads by 2 sets to 1.
Now the question marks get even larger.
Yes, well, Nishikori, of course, is in the good seat at the moment. He's got a chance to break the serve. He's starting to play a little bit better. It's Leighton Hewitt, the pressure is on him. And then, of course, he always has the backup of the tiebreaker, Nishikori, though when we look back at the tiebreak in the second set, that's when Hewitt really came into his own. He won that 7-4. It's quite tricky on this court now. The shadows are coming across the court. Not only have got the breeze, which is spasmodic, sometimes very strong. The sun is fairly low, so that adds a little bit of difficulty sometimes out of the corner of the eye. As the player moves forward, you can see the shadows there quite lengthy coming across the court on the ball boys and ball girls, the umpire's chair. But, really significant stage in the match here. The match could be over in a few minutes. On the other hand, it could be platform for quite a long period of time. Another several sets.
So Hewitt then serving for the second time to stay in this third set. No, it was wide. Hewitt trying it on, but not successful. But he got away with a rather short second serve. Beautifully done. It was a tricky shot by the time he played it, below the height of the net.
40-15.
Yeah, it's good tactic to move in here. He's played well from the net, actually, in this match. You don't associate him particularly with a volleyer, but he's been solid in that department.
so-and-so.
14-30.
Well, good depth on that shot, forcing Hewitt back, and absolutely the right shot there, because Hewitt felt the ball was going to go down the backhand side for him.
Well, good serving from Hewitt again, and we are in for a second successive tiebreak here.
6 years old, tiebreak.
And there has been history, of course, and the previous battle won by the Australian. So Nishikori to begin. It's a fine slice. Nishikori dictating things impressively there.
1-0, Nishikori.
Again, he got the balance spot on, but can he continue to do so through this breaker?
I'm not sure it's not that rafter. Ladies and gentlemen, please go to the security and leave your seats. And make sure you take all your belongings with you. Please do not leave property unattended at any time.
There's next to the Fanatics, Pat Rafter, supporting his Aussie mate.
And yes, this is a point against the serve. Frustrated, he's lost the initiative now in this tie break.
Well played. Again, cool head.
This is a superb shot. Such depth and weight. Struggles to control that. Hewitt did well actually get the ball back into play, but no chance with that one.
Remember the set points in the second set. 2 doubles when he was serving for the set. And he's again brought Hewitt back into this breaker.
Oof.
It's catching. Hewitt looking down at his hand as if the racket might have slipped. Calls for the towel. It's not got a lot to commend itself here, this tiebreaker. He knows that.
Yes, it's amazing what pressure will do, isn't it? And the prospect of the gust of wind, which didn't actually come. So 1 more point on Hewitt's serve now in the tie break. This is a must-win point for him.
batting from Leighton Hewitt. Hitting it so flat and so clean.
4-3, Nishikori.
Well, he could have faltered on a number of shots here, Leighton Hewitt, but such determination and desire. Controlled that point beautifully. Not an easy ball, that half volley. Managed to calmly put it into the open space. Keep himself in the tie-break. Still a point behind, though.
Yeah, the miss hit was crucial, and Hewitt quickly into pounce, and he's level again. Too good, and good of Hewitt to say that to Nishikori. A wonderful rally from him there.
Hewitt did absolutely everything he could to get that ball back into play, but his opponent just had too much weight of shot, used the court so effectively.
Didn't hit it that cleanly, Nishikori, and Hewitt misread it.
6-4, Nishikori.
So now 2 set points for Nishikori. Remember, he had 3 set points to finish the second set and lost it. Brave angle from Hewitt. And he says to Nishikori, can you be as brave right here?
6-5, Nishikori.
Not an easy shot, this. Really had the timing absolutely perfect. Look how close to the line it was. Set point now on Nishikori's serve. Brilliant play.
Slowly turned it round, didn't he? He's some enemy, isn't he, Leighton Hewitt?
Well, how well he played the point here, thus forcing the error from his opponent even at full stretch. After appreciating the guts of his fellow countrymen. 2 set points saved by Hewitt. And it was the way he saved them that really was the key factor. Such courage.
Terrific defending from Hewitt. And again, he's turned this tiebreaker around. And after 2 hours and 21 minutes, it is match point for Hewitt on his serve. Big shot from Nishikori, and it was too big for Hewitt.
7-0.
What a shot.
And after faltering, suddenly turning on the fire is Nishikori now.
9-7, Nishikori.
Well, he created the opening there. Hewitt couldn't have expected such a shot of that caliber. A brilliant shot.
So now it's set point number 3 for Nishikori. He's got it. And he deserved to. He was brave in the end when it really mattered. And finally he finishes the set off.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you leave your seat, please make sure you take your belongings with you. Please turn off the property on.
And Hewitt has got some more work to do. Nishikori is going off court. It looks like he pointed to his shoes as if he's going to change his shoes. And he's getting an official to go with him. And Leighton Hewitt is left to ponder what might have been, but really it wasn't his fault. Nishikori, you know, from the match point down, he played some extraordinary tennis.
Well, he's played unpredictable tennis, hasn't he, throughout the entire match. You could never quite tell what he's going to produce, something brilliant or something otherwise. And it looked certainly that Nishikori, having had the tie-break really in the palm of his hand, he was 6-4 up, two set points. Then he let it go. In fact, Leighton Hewitt started to really turn it on and then got to himself a match point on his own serve. And that's when Nishikori produced something absolutely brilliant. Superb shot down the line for a winner. So there's the statistics. A lot of winners in that set. Both players hitting quality shots. 17 winners for Nishikori, and some of them at key stages in the match. And that was the key factor. Both similar number of unforced errors. Really nip and tuck the whole way. An excellent set of tennis. And really now, whose match is it going to be? Nishikori has got everything to gain. One wonders how Leighton Hewitt must feel, how his body must feel, because he's not played an immense amount of tennis this year. He's had struggled with injuries. Psychologically too, it must be a bit of a downer now, having had the match there at match point. It's going to be a real test of his intestinal fortitude, I think, here. And not easy moments here to sit down and re-examine really the frustration of the last set. It requires a lot of mind control, tennis does. It's not an easy game. The mind plays such a huge part in the outcome.
He's played one 5-setter, this year. That was in the Australian Open in the first round against David Nalbandian, one of the matches of the tournament, and Nalbandian won it 9-7 in the fifth. Hewitt was 2 sets to 1 up there and lost it. Here is 2 sets to love up until that set. But it did look at the beginning of the set as if Nishikori was history.
Yes, I suppose if we reflect, really, he was somewhat fortunate to have won the second set. But it was through his effort and determination. Tony Roach, and he's going to have to suffer the agonies for a little bit longer. Not easy for coaches at the side of the court. There's not a lot of an impact they can have with their player. Just only to be there, perhaps to show some signs of encouragement. There's not a lot they can say. There's nothing they should say, of course, in terms of coaching.
Nishikori's coach is wearing a white panoramic looking up row 3, the other side of the white tracks on the top.
Time.
There's the Japanese camp. The guy with the white jacket there is Nishikori's coach. And sometimes during matches he closes his eyes as a thought transference process goes on. It's quite extraordinary. I was watching him at Eastbourne. And maybe there were good vibes coming across the court during that tiebreak. So into a 4th set we go. After just having a bite to eat, but back to support Leighton in this 4th set. It was a very good return. Interestingly, though, Hewitt didn't go for it. Could he have? Probably too far away. No, that's okay. Bearing in mind what happened last week, I'm looking for that when Hewitt had to retire. Leighton steadies the ship, but can't feel too confident because there was a feeling that the match was totally under his control. I no longer feel that. I think it's going to be won or lost now by Nishikori.
Absolutely, because at one stage Hewitt was a break up 2-love in that 3rd set, and it looked as though it was home and dry. But now the match is certainly being dictated by his opponent, and he's having to play a very strong defensive game, but a lot of the time having to work very hard to get the ball back into play. And when Nishikori does actually contact the ball well, he's hitting shots which are almost unplayable. And he has a much calmer demeanour about himself now. I think he's much more at peace on this court. He's more focused on playing the tennis than rather being involved in extraneous things that are going on.
15.
No.
15 all.
Oh.
13, 15.
No.
14, 15.
The control is not there, not the control of the match, not the control of the shot making at the moment.
Game Nishikori.
And it's getting tougher and tougher for the Australians now. They've gone a bit quiet there. You can see them.
1 game all 4 sets.
Their man is one of the greatest fighters in the history of tennis, but is he playing with a full deck at the moment?
All 15.
The tables seem to be turning. Fine hitting from Hewitt there, though.
A bit of cat and mouse play by both. Just content for a while, just to get the ball back into play until there was a little bit of space there for Hewitt on his favoured backhand to just put a little bit of extra into the ball to force the winner.
Nishikori giving it a long look, but it was wide.
Four.
Yeah, good switch of attack down to the backhand side from Hewitt there. And he does well to hold on.
Hewitt leads 2-1, 4 sets, or 2 sets to 1.
So a good battle for the crowd. And treatment here for Nishikori. Now there's this blisters, socks coming off. Certainly didn't seem to be. Yeah, it's a blister. But you wouldn't have guessed it because he was moving so sweetly.
That's going to be quite painful.
Well, he's played a lot of tennis in the last few days. Semi-finalist last week and a long match here.
Yes, and sliding as well on the court, which players do a little bit on this grass, this stage in the tournament.
Not sure if Pat's playing in the Legends tournament next week, but we will. 35, so I think he probably is.
So there's a bit of Friar's balsam or something going on there. That's what we used to, in my day, used to do that. He's had to do a bit of sitting around, hasn't he, at the end of the set. His opponent disappeared for quite a while, and it allowed him to mull over the trials and tribulations of the match, especially the match point that he had.
Yes, Nishikori obviously was worried about his footwear. He pointed to his shoe when he went off, so obviously there was a change of footwear, but it's still something that's hurting. Pity these lengthy delays. It's just taking a little bit of the impetus out of the match, but no way he's using this as a tactical ploy. He's not made of that kind of stuff, Nishikori.
I would have thought he'd had really hardened feet because he's spent many an hour playing tennis at the Bollettieri Academy, hasn't he? In
yes,
Florida.
He
was out there since he was 14 years of age. He was sent there to train in Florida. They play on the hard courts there for many, many hours every day. It's a terrific tennis academy which has produced so many players.
Brad Gilbert took him under his wing for a little while. He was good friends with Brad's son. And back in Japan, they really do think that this guy could be a major influence in tennis. Remains to be seen, really. He's got credentials, that's for sure. But we've seen a faltering in the first two sets, which is one of the reasons, apart from the injuries, that he hasn't made the heights yet.
But as we've been saying, he can produce some really brilliant shots and moves very well, very light on his feet. He's very nimble, changes direction very quickly. I'd say he had an excessively big serve, and that's been a bit of a strength and his weakness in this match, of course, with the double faults at the critical stage in the second set. But one of the difficulties he has too is, I think, there's a lot of people following him, the media all the time.
Yes.
And so he's in public focus.
So Nishikori resuming, 1-2 down in sets and in games. footwork and sureness in this win.
15 all.
Yes, all Hewitt could do was to try to endeavour to stay in the rally. And that's one shot too many.
That was poor from Nishikori, and here's Hewitt then with 2 break points to go 3-1. Just got the angle, and look at the reaction. Just when things look dangerous, as if Nishikori was taking control of the match, Hewitt pounces. Shadows moving across the court now. It's almost 50-50, light and shade. Is that in itself a problem for the players, or are they used to it because they've been playing through this?
Well, I think actually once the sun gets down to a level, it actually can catch the corner of your eye, and it can be quite tricky. A worrying shot from Hewitt.
15-40.
And here are 2 break-back points for Kei Nishikori. Key serve, one of his quickest serves as well, 118. Rafter breathed in smiles. He's seen a lot of that from Hewitt. He's had to face it a few times. That's good shooting.
Hewitt leads 4-1, 4 sets, by 2-6-1.
And that's some of the best shooting from Leighton Hewitt we've seen in the match. He really did get that sorted, hitting the ball so flat.
Huge effort, big serving too. 15-40, he put in a couple of really good serves. Sort of serve that Rafter probably would have put in, though he backed it up with volleys mainly. Wonderful grass court player, Pat Rafter, but terrific guts by Leighton Hewitt.
And some treatment now for Nishikori. It looks like the thigh's being treated.
Yes, it was a brilliant game. Well, one feels perhaps that was the game that's going to win him the match. If he'd lost his serve, then all sorts of other things could have happened. But now 4-1 up and really hyped too. And I think really seriously believing he's going to win this match now.
Didn't he play well from break points down? So treatment for potential cramp, I guess. Not allowed to have a timeout for it. But it's been an exhausting match now. 2 hours and 47 minutes have been going. Hewitt once more in the ascendancy, grabbing the ascendancy that time, not waiting for the mistakes from Nishikori. Hewitt threatening to stamp on him rather as he did in the opening set.
Supercharged.
It's all going the Aussies' way right now. It's down to how much has Nishikori got left mentally as well as physically. It's been tantalizingly close. Should have won the second set and didn't. Could have won the third set and didn't. So good with the lob, but not that time. But that says something. There's still wind in his sails.
Hewitt leads 4-2, 4 sets.
Yes, after the first 2 points, you could see Hewitt going 5-1 up, and then suddenly Nishikori produces really 4 good points, 4 solid points, competitive. Not going to be easy to put away.
15 love.
Fist pumping on almost every point, and it's a long time since we've seen Leighton Hewitt do this, but Wimbledon just brings out the competitive instincts even more than any other tournament. Hits the ball so flat on serve, he gets more than his fair share of let chords. And there's another really flat serve. Did the job.
14 up.
This is the difficult end to receive. The sun's in the eyes here.
Fine return. Well, an excellent serve from Hewitt to clinch the game and move to within a game of his goal.
Hewitt leads 5 games to 2. 4 sets, no by 2 sets to 1.
It's interesting to try and evaluate Leighton Hewitt. We don't know how near full fitness he is, but let's say he's pretty near full fitness. I don't see him again as a contender, do you? And in a strange way, I'm kind of surprised he's still out there, unless he fervently believes he is a contender.
Yes, I mean, the way he's playing doesn't look to me that he would be able to play 7 matches over 5 sets.
No.
In actual fact, what is great, actually, he still has this fighting spirit,
Yes.
this love of the game, and you know the way you're saying he's as pumped as though you haven't seen him like this for quite a long while, and how much it means to him, particularly I think to play here at Wimbledon, which of course he won the championships way back in 2002, and he's had a phenomenal record here, playing so many matches. So it's something that's almost nostalgic as far as he's concerned too. So the match is not over yet. We've seen from his opponent he can really turn it on and do a lot of damage.
Didn't look that impressive, did it, then? He was trying to do a Nadal there, but it didn't quite work. Nevertheless, he's a game away from the second round here. Too early in that shot. knifed that beautifully, didn't he, Nishikori?
15 all.
Well done. Nifty work from Nishikori.
30-15.
It certainly was. He stayed his ground. Steve Hewitt thought he was going to expect the shot down the forehand.
Oh, that was a bit of a gift.
40-15.
As was that. Nothing's a formality for Leighton Hewitt this afternoon. And after 1 minute short of 3 hours, Hewitt will serve for the match.
Box.
That's a wild second serve. His sixth double fault. Squinting because the sun is right in his eyes, particularly from the right court. What is this? This is Leighton Hewitt. That doesn't happen.
And first sets.
That's just wide. He set himself for it, fancied the task. Hewitt breathes a huge sigh of relief. Did he run out of ideas? Hewitt did very well to get across to the shot at the baseline, and that seemed to put Nishikori off.
Yes, some good deep breaths required.
too canny. Clear head and fast feet from Hewitt there.
30.
So it's match point number 2 for the Australian. There's that tension. Even for someone as experienced as Leighton Hewitt,
Yes,
have a lot of feel there.
He was relieved to get his second serve into play too. Yes, he wants this match so much.
Longest rally of the match. And again, Hewitt outlasts the Japanese.
Advantage Hewitt.
Match point number 3. Even then, you thought he might get it. But credit to Nishikori. He stuck it to Hewitt there.
He was bold. He certainly was. And despite all the effort there, remarkable guts, determination. But this one shot, too good.
So 3 match points saved now. The old trusty serve out wide from the deuce court does it again.
Advantage Hewitt.
Match point number 4.
Yes.
Finally.
Hewitt. 3 sets to 1. 6-1, 7-6, 6-7, 6-3.
Court 12 has rarely seen as much excitement as we've had in the last 3 hours. 3 hours and 7 minutes. But Leighton Hewitt, the former champion here, he's not going to win the title this year, but he'll feel like he has done with that victory.
Yes. And Pat Rafter there delighted for his fellow countrymen winning that courageous match. He really was on tenterhooks, wasn't he, in that last game? 2 double faults he served as he served for the match. He wanted it so much. and with
Ladies and gentlemen, in the
unbelievable
interest of security, if you leave your seat,
relief.
please make sure you take all your belongings with you. Please do not leave property unattended at any time. Thank you.
Please stay low.